Ahoy ahoy and welcome back to my channel. Or if this is your first time watching, welcome. Today we are going to take a look at the 1966 Beatles album Revolver, more specifically the various CD editions that have been released. Coincidentally, today, or by the time if you're viewing this on its premiere, it's August 5, which is the anniversary of the album's release, so yay. And yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let me just put this away and we're going to take a look at the first in line. And like with my other comparison videos, I'd like to first take a look at how it would have looked like on first release. So this is the mono disc from the Beatles in Mono box set. So the original release had a glossy laminate front panel. This is a two-part construction there. You got the flat uncoated panel at the back, just a square panel, and that it it's a cost cutting thing. I mean, during printing they can just print a lot of these uncoated and then a lot of these coated, and they just assemble it. So yeah, this is these are flipbacks, a common design element of LPs made in the UK during the time, or at least made by two prominent manufacturers, Garrett Lofthouse and then Ernst J. Day and Sons. It doesn't. It usually says it here. Which one's the manufacturer, but yeah, they removed it, so it's not 100% replication. Although you could tell, since it's rounded here, that's Garrett Lofthouse. The Ernst J. Day. The ones that were manufactured by Ernst J. They had an angular, a 45-degree cut in here, not a curved one. But yeah, they used the same. They had the same look. You got the. This is not a gatefold, so the design elements are just the front cover, the artwork by Klaus Vormann. Look at the lines there. And then the back, which has a picture by Robert Whittaker, and of course the track list, singer and the songwriter credits, and then these ads that more recently they have been incorporating into later releases as part of the actual artwork. So, and yeah, they even have the additional horns and tabla player credits right there. Okay, and the spine, almost forgot. Standard spine font for releases at the time. So we now move on to this the actual first release, the first CD edition that was released in 1987. This is actually a 1992 pressing, because of it has the Apple logo. And if you watched my previous videos discussing these editions, the reason why you don't get the Apple logo in the previous editions is because of a then ongoing litigation between Apple Corps, the Beatles company, and Apple Computer, which we now know today as Apple, the electronics company. So yeah, the CD editions didn't really adhere to the to preserving the original artwork. So as you can see, starting with the disc. Oh, I forgot to show you that the original, well, they also replicated the inner sleeves that come with the discs. They also have the standard Parlophone yellow and black label. And cool thing is, I found out it very recently that the text, what they do when they manufacture these labels is they just print the blanks, like just the black, all the black parts here, and then the Parlophone logo printed on over it. And then when an order comes for an album pressing, they print the ink, they print the album information separately on silver ink. And I didn't know that until much recently. So that's why you sometimes see people selling mispressings where the text, there's no text, it's just a blank label. It's because of that the labels are printed separately or rather the text on the labels are printed separately. So they didn't adhere with the design, so they just went with the standard, what was the standard CD design at the time. It's just the no substrate. I think the white album is the only one that has a white substrate under this. So, and then they printed single color black right there. That's it. And then the back is also fairly standard during the 80s, just no artwork. It's just the track list. In this case, they also have the songwriter credits right there, and the obligatory copyright and record label logos, a very prominent compact disc logo. Technology being new at the time. And then the booklet, which hasn't actually been printed properly, you have these little things that should be trimmed. And so instead of the full band portrait over there, they cut the picture up. They didn't even like what they did with the Help CD. They actually framed it. It's just they should have at least cut this and then cut John's face right there, cut Ringo's face right there. Ringo, just give it a sense of continuity. But no, it just they just randomly put a full lead picture of John and Ringo right there. I mean, they could have just done this as a single spread. It would have been fine, but I don't know. It's their choice, and yeah. So you get all the text though. I mean, it's not like you lose a lot of information with this edition. It's just that you don't get the full experience as you would with the editions that retained the artwork. So putting these aside, let's skip to 2009, which is the remastered edition. And just a note though, both these editions have the same mix, same stereo mix. So that odd mix where the drums, the bass, and one of the guitars were lumped into one speaker. That's because when they recorded it, that's live, and in mono they used a single track to record that. They were only ever using 4-track at the time. So limitation of technology. I mean, I suppose they could have mixed it, centered it, but stereo was a novelty at the time. So I guess someone at EMI thought, it would be cool if we do that. I mean, if it's not so much disorienting if you listen to it on a stereo, on speakers, tabletop stereo system, but if you listen to it on headphones, it is not a very good listening experience. So, not to mention there's that weird, weird double track system dropping on Eleanor Rigby, transitioning from the intro chorus going to the verse. One thing of note with the artwork in this is, compared to the Beatles in mono, the line art in here is crisp. You could really see the lines. Here, it's suffering from half toning. So instead of lines, you get a lot of dots. So, and I think they over adjusted the contrast, so it's kind of too bright. Like look at George's eyes. Compare it with this. I mean, it's good enough for retail, I guess, but it's not. I mean, look at George's face right there, top. Right, it's too bright over there. So anyway, so as with all the other 2009 editions, you have trifold or 6-panel gatefold jacket, and then the disc is housed at the rightmost pouch. This is a sleeve that I provided myself. It's not part of the original packaging, but as you can see, same yellow and black Parlophone label, and got the couple of photos of the era. This is from the Paperback Writer shoot, I believe. Funny thing, this is one of the first Beatles music videos I've ever seen, way back when there were some music video channels on free TV at the time. And one of the things I've noticed at the time was Paul looked a bit off, and then it didn't click for me until much later that Paul actually had a chipped tooth at the time. Because of I believe that was a biking accident, I think. And the okay, it's not very visible on video, but this part right here is way too bright. Someone messed with it, I think. I mean, it's not right. It's there's not a clear delineation here, but here it's too. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the parts are way too bright. There, and of course the George's face, like we've seen earlier. And this was actually reused. Let me just pull this one from the box set, or the big box set, which we'll take a much closer look at later. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. And yeah, a lot of these pictures were also used in later editions, and of course promotional stuff. And like most with the other 2009 remasters, except past masters, you get historical notes and recording notes, both written by Kevin Howlett. And this is the right orientation of the interim greatest hits release, Beatles, a collection of Beatles oldies. In Japan, I believe they used a flipped version of it. No, rather the standard one was flipped, and then the Japan release was, the original orientation. So you might also notice that I don't have the capital Revolver included, and the reason why is simple. I don't have the box set yet. But you're not missing much. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of the amount of artwork is practically the same, except for the capital logo right here, and the back is not flip back, of course, but the artwork is the same, and then you get less songs in it. So I mean, I've been meaning to get a copy of that box set for the longest time, but the pricing it, maybe I'll find a good deal one day, but that is not to stay. Okay, so we now skip back to, or rather, we now skip forward to 2022, which is the Giles Martin mixes. And normally I don't double dip, except that with these you get the cool thing about this is the second disc, the bonus disc, is sort of the highlights disc is of course a very different master because of the song sequence. So it's a nice inclusion to the collection. Let's take a look at the front first. So you got the stereo designation right there, and the cool thing about it is the image that they used here is a restored version of the original artwork. So they found, if I remember correctly, Joe Walsh from the Eagles owns the original artwork by Klaus Bormann. So I guess at some point they rescanned it and just cleaned it enough that it doesn't it's cleaned it enough, restored it basically. And you can see it here. It's a lot grayer, and there's less contrast, which is great. And if you take a closer look, and this is a CD sized version, not the LP sized one that we're going to take a look at later, but see how fine the lines are, the line art. It's not you don't see half toning, and well, these are of course the original had half toning because these were cutouts from magazines, most of them. So yeah, I mean, if you're not into getting the super deluxe edition, just getting this, you get the nice, very nice representation of the album cover, which is not bad at all. So, and it's the back image is of course I believe this was also restored from the original negatives. I mean, Apple has, you notice that they don't really, with most of their publications, they don't credit the photographer anymore. I noticed that in Beatles anthology. I know that a lot of the photos were taken by Robert Freeman, and he's not credited in a lot of the photos. The same with Robert Whittaker. It just says copyright Apple or Apple Corps. So they may have bought the rights to the pictures at some point, but it would have been nice if the photographers were credited. So anyway, that's the spines. They used the exact same font as the original right there. It's nice. And then you take it out. Yeah, that's the top right there. You take it out and you get the 2-disc sleeve, again with a very nice and glossy representation of the artwork right there. Even if you take a look at the fine print there, it's not, compare it with this is the 2009 edition. If you take a closer look at that, yeah, lots of half toning in there, and you compare with this, yeah, tack sharp, it's nice, and really close to the 2009, rather the mono. So this features the original proposed artwork by Robert Freeman, and funny thing is, with the you only get an LP sized version of that artwork in the LP edition, but if you have the Robert Freeman book, there is an LP sized version of that image right there. It's just that it's a white background, but cool. And then the discs, of course, this same standard, with different track listing arrangement though. But I mean the way that the text was laid out. Oh wait, what? Yeah. Well, of course, they're not exactly different layout right there. But yeah, that's disc 1, and then disc 2 is the in-house white label. So instead of they actually went out of their way and made a unique text design, highlights, which is nice. I mean, for that alone, if you're a little bit of a completist and would like to get every small variation of it, this is one to have, even if you already have the super deluxe edition. That now brings us to the booklet, which is a square bound booklet, no spine, and it's the album cover, textless this time. It doesn't have the text at the bottom right there, and it's the same quality as the front cover, high quality, little to no half toning. And this is the hype sticker that I saved. I have a video on how you can do this, and maybe keep the sticker sticky or usable in the future. I'll put a link to that in the description. So yeah, lots of you've probably seen these photos, but this the text here is an abridged version of the text in the super deluxe edition. You don't get the essays from Questlove and other people, and then you don't also get the detailed track by track discussion, just the who played what and when it was recorded. And then there are notes on the sessions highlights, which are more thoroughly discussed than the super deluxe edition. Get more photos and credits right there. And that is the 2-disc edition. Now we go and take a look at the big one. This is the Super Deluxe edition that was released at the same time as this, and as you can see, you know, textless. Although the cool, there's a cool gimmick here. It's not entirely textless, because if you know, put it in the light, the Revolver logo and the parlophone, and they even tried to put in the gramophone copyright statement right there, as you can see. But the it's not, well, it didn't take as well, because the way this is made is when they prepare a file that on file, this entire area would be black, and this would be a transparent layer right here, and then during print, that layer is assigned a you know, it will be that's the assigned area for the UV coating, and these areas are blocked, and then it's, you know, as the coating cures and this is removed, so really it's not designed for fine detail. It's just supposed to, you know, put a select glossy layer in certain parts, and they did it here. As you can see, it doesn't carry over to the spine and the back. So yeah, so looking at the box here, it's that's the track list, and they kept the artwork without all the, you know, logos at the bottom. That's for the inside. And then the spine is right here. They kept the impact font. That gap between L and V has always bugged me. And then there's the spine. So this contains a book and an LP-sized folio. Well, let's take a look at that now. Let's just take both out. And then let's look at the... So, restored art, full size. And this time you get a more regular look. You have the logo right here, and of course the super fine line. I mean, this is worth acquiring just for this alone if you don't collect LPs like I do. Like I don't, rather. They didn't put in the stereo designation, or stereo or mono, and none of that here either. But it's closer to the original artwork, except for the flip backs, of course, and you'll see why in a moment, why I didn't do that. They also kept the Amitex and other stuff at the bottom, and they also kept the spine, as we've seen earlier. So yeah, LP size. Now it's a gatefold, of course, and we'll get to these discs in a moment. I put them in a separate case, but this is the hype sticker that I saved, because, you know, you never know, and maybe I want to use them in the future. So as I've said earlier, I have a video on how you can save it as well. So I just put it in a plastic sleeve and put it here, so it's, you know, safe. Oh boy, I can't. And the discs are right here, actually. I made a custom paper wallet, or cardstock wallet, for this. And it doesn't, you got the stereo version, the Giles Martin mix. You got the 2 sessions discs right there, which uses the Robert Freeman proposed cover, and then the mono with the mono designation right there, and an approximation, not a replica, but an approximation of the single sleeve, except that the original is top loading. It has those wavy things. This is side loading. It's cardboard, so it kind of replicates the 45 RPM labels that they made at the time. And then this is the mono, of course. Got the PMC, almost the same as the original, but they didn't have a spine, no spines. And the paper, it's uncoated paper, like the Let It Be Super Deluxe Edition, which it's kind of a step down in quality because they didn't. It's not as good as, let's say, the Abbey Road Super Deluxe Edition, where all of these had glossy, coating. I mean, it's kind of a throwback to the Sergeant Pepper one, where also didn't have coating, and it's not. Look, this arrived damaged when I opened the package. It's already damaged, so it got knocked loose. And there's this channel that I was watching, Super Deluxe Edition, and their copy is also damaged. so it's not a one-off thing. It's not like I just had a bad luck of the draw. It's, I don't know, quality control thing. And let me just set this aside. The presentation of this, I mean, I was looking forward to having a nice copy of this, and it's not very nice. I mean, if you take a look at the inner part, the one that's on the inside of the 2-disc edition, it's not, this looks great. I mean, gloss coating makes colors more vibrant. So, just with that, the LP version even had it better with the spot varnish effect for just the circular part. So, it's and one other thing of note is that this is made in Czechoslovakia. It just says made in the EU on the disc, same as the first the discs on this. They both say made in the EU, but this is made in Germany by Optimal Media. This is made in Czech Republic, and it doesn't say what there were. I didn't check which manufacturer, but it's been known which one it was. It's the same company that manufactured the Let It Be Super Deluxe Edition. So, it's kind of a step down in quality. It's not as good as Abbey Road or even the White Album. But I mean, it's there, and part of me is glad at least we got Revolver, because the mixes, the Giles Martin mixes alone, makes a lot of the tracks. Some are revelations in themselves, and they just made the whole experience more listenable, especially on headphones. And one of the things that I liked about this packaging is that it it distills the good elements of the previous Super Deluxe editions, like the book, for example. The book. This is Sergeant Pepper had it. Abbey Road had it, although Abbey Road had the discs housed in the inner whatever this part of the book is called. I mean, this is the end paper, but the Abbey Road book has a separate set of end papers, and this they should have done this with the Let It Be set. Like, they actually had to design 2 different books, or rather 2 different sizes, different trim sizes for the books, and then different box designs. I mean, they could have just used one LP size design, and then the CDs could have been in an LP sized replica of the cover and all that, but I don't know. They had to make 2 separate designs for it. So anyway, this is the book, and as you can see here, it also has, it's the same design, by the way. It's the same part, and if you take a closer look, that is actually a mirror reversed version of Paul's hair. I mean, let me change it so you can see it in closer scale right there. See that? Yeah, that part. That's actually Paul's hair right there, and it's the same piece of line art reversed. So there's the book, and yeah, the cool thing about these is, well, at least this has better paper stock than Sergeant Pepper, but it's not as robust. No, that's the wrong word. It's not as jam-packed as it would have been. So lots of pictures though, that's cool. And then the really good restored pictures. There's the photo that we saw earlier. You get this essay from Questlove. The Roots is a great band. I mean, they couldn't be different from the Beatles, but it's one of the. I mean, I'm not a fan of anything hip hop at all, but it's one of the hip hop acts that I actually actively listen to. Okay, see more sessions there. Got George with one of the George playing bass right there. And then you get like with the other super deluxe editions, you get these the segment that here the road to the route to what else? But it basically discusses the events leading to the creation of the album. So this is a lot of these are by Kevin Howlett, by the way. And then Paul has already started using his Rickenbacker bass during this time. And of course, that's George's sitar, which I think was bought from a Indian novelty shop. He got a real sitar much later. I think that if I remember correctly, the circumstances where he met Ravi Shankar was when he was looking for strings, and someone said, "Hey, there's a really good sitar player in London," and they kind of let's go meet him, and one thing led to another. Oh, I didn't realize we're here already, but the another prominent section, the main meat of the album as it is the record, the track by track discussion right here. So it discusses details of every track. So you got there we go for No One. Got to Get You Into My Life right there. All the way to Tomorrow Never Knows, and of course the singles Paperback Writer and Rain. And of course bigger versions of the pictures on the booklet that we've seen earlier. Now here's a cool thing, and it's unique from all the other sections where the creation of the cover is discussed. In Sgt. Pepper, you got like some of the content there were kind of recycled from earlier versions. This is unique because this is Klaus Vormann tells tells the story of the creation, but instead of a write-up, this is an excerpt from a book that he released earlier, Birth of an Icon, Revolver. It's actually, it's mentioned here. And these are pages from the book. And I think the book is pretty much available. If I remember correctly, you could still get it signed by him. But I think the shipment it ships only within the EU. So the shipping cost is going to be expensive if you buy it from other countries. I've been meaning to find an affordable copy of it, but it's just usually out of my price range. I mean, even if it's not signed, I'd be super cool with that. And then, again, like the other super deluxe editions, you have the sort of the aftermath of the album or album release. So you got promotional stuff, promo posters. How this is from the Yesterday and Today US release. And here's a sort of press release for the Beatles' plans, including that infamous Manila performance. Yay. I live like a couple of hours from Manila, but I haven't actually been to the location. Rizal Stadium, it's not National Football Stadium. So, here, Revolver era performance, of course, Top of the Pops. And of course the credits and track listing. the last photo. You know, they deviated a little bit from the other super deluxe editions, that the last page usually is an illustration, a drawing from John, and it's not, and that's not here. So yeah. So yeah, that is a look at the various editions of the Beatles Revolver. I assume that you're still watching right now, so that means you must have liked this video. So why not give this video a like, and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. And I try to upload videos as regularly as possible. So if if you like this, there's gonna be more, a lot more. So yeah, that's it. In the meantime, yeah, just keep on watching and be good.